Welcome to the JLC podcast, presented by the Jorgensen Learning Center. Change the conversation, change the results. Here's Dr. Ray Jorgensen.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for visiting us at the JLC in Learning series. This is a JLC chat, and it's a chat about huddles, an opportunity for a medical team to get together early in the morning and sometimes in the afternoon, just to check in with each other and make sure things are going as expected. So we're going to try to model one of these, and we hope you like it. And remember, this is the not ready for prime time players, so we'll do okay, but we'll see how well we come out. So I'm going to shift into role, and I am the provider. Colleen is a registered nurse. Joe is an HM. Julie is a civilian nurse. And Nicole is a corpsman. So here's our gang, and we're ready to have our morning huddle. So ladies and gentlemen, thanks for coming in this morning, and especially for being on time. We've fixed some of those problems about being late for huddles, and very grateful for that. So the way we'll start our huddle today is do a quick check-in. What's one thing that you learned last week that we're going to keep moving forward this week to do? Because as we learn, we want to keep doing things better to take care of our patients and improve patient safety. So I'll start with you, Colleen. What's one thing you learned last week from the floor that you think we should continue to do this week?
Well, one of the things that I learned was that people were coming to me to help them with certain issues as they arose. So I was very grateful that people were open to asking questions, and when they didn't know what to do exactly, they were seeking guidance and seeking the
That's a great floor response. Wonderful floor response. Sometimes people are silent about their needs, and if you're noticing that, that's a great thing. Terry, what's one thing that you learned last week that we should continue to do this week?
Well, as the division officer for the clinic, I want to tell you that I'm very pleased with the engagement by all the team members here. We have open communications, and that is so important for us. And as a result, people are really happy with what's going on in the clinic these days. So as a division officer, thank you guys for what you do every day.
That's super. I appreciate that thinking, and I agree. If you see something, say something. Patient safety is all about that. Joe, tell me a little bit about what you learned from last week that we should continue to do this week.
Well, something that came up last week was the leaky sink that's basically inoperative and is limiting our operation. So we've really got to do something to get facility in here to fix that for us.
Thank you very much. And just wondering, did you turn in a work order yet on that, or is that a today job?
We did. We turned in a work order, but we haven't seen maintenance come yet.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Well, that's Division to help us with that one.
Yeah. I'll take that for action. I'll follow up with facilities and see just where the work order is and when we might expect that they will be down to fix that. But I noticed that we don't have any patient safety concerns with that at the moment.
Okay, I just wrote that one down for follow-up. Thank you so much, gentlemen. Thank you, Terry. So, Julie, what's something you learned last week that we should continue to do this week?
One thing I found that's been really helpful to validate the caretakers of our retirees is the safety pamphlet on fall risk that we've been giving to them. And as we slowly walk back to the room, we have a conversation about how we can slowly look at all the risk factors that are there so that everyone can be aware that, yes, you are a risk factor. We know that you're strong and you can do things, but at the same time, there are also some risks to consider. So that not only helps us know as, providers, but it also helps the caretakers at home with the retirees.
Yeah, I really like that a lot, Julie. And the fact that you went back to the patient to ask them if they got anything out of it, if they had time to read it, if they could read it. So that constant conversation with the patient, fantastic. Thank you. Nicole, how about you? What's something you picked up last week that we should continue to do?
Yeah, I'm learning about anticipating needs, equipment needs based on who's going to be coming into the clinic. I've been hearing we're having a lot of people coming in for their flu shots. A lot of those folks are elderly, like Julie mentioned. And so we're making sure that we have walkers on hand for those individuals. I've checked the stock room to make sure that we've got ample walkers. So if those that are coming in need support getting around, we have that to offer as they come into the clinic.
Excellent. Always paying attention to our schedule to see if we have the necessary equipment to take care of anything unusual with a patient that might be coming forward. Well,
But
wonderful.
Ray, we're
Joe.
also out of flu vaccine. I noticed that this morning.
Oh, really?
Mhm.
Oh, that is a problem. Thank you for that. So who can get us that flu vaccine as quickly as possible this morning?
Yeah, as the division officer, that's my job. So my commitment is that I'll check with immunizations and see if we can get our enough for the demand that we have for today.
Outstanding. Are there any other patient needs that you notice from your schedule that need to be taken care of this morning?
Yeah, I have looked. I don't think we have any other special equipment for today. Appreciate everybody mindfulness on making sure that we have enough equipment so that we don't get delayed in seeing our patients. So thanks, everybody.
Excellent, excellent. So what I learned last week is I was ambitious, overly ambitious about how many patients I could see. And I found myself lagging in the afternoon. So I'm going to work on my own schedule and make sure that I stay tuned in as I move forward to you, as you keep shifting me from place to place as the provider. So thank you for that very, very much. Looking at your schedule, are there any scheduling conflicts that you notice, either between a service or a specialty need that somebody might have? Any out there at all?
Yes, I have to leave at noon to go to the range. I have to requalify.
I got it. So we need to get Joe out of here on time so he gets to the range on time. So Nicole, can you cover his piece of that afternoon that he's doing, or you overrun?
I'm happy to help and cover that.
Excellent. That's really good. Other special circumstances. I did notice last week we had 2 Spanish-speaking patients that could not speak any English. Do we have anybody on staff that is fluent in Spanish that could help us with somebody like that? Julie, I think you said you noticed somebody that had that. Is that person still with us?
Yes, she's available. She works in the other department, but if we can let her know in the morning that those patients are coming in, even in the morning and in the afternoon, that she's able to just swing on by and help us.
That's perfect. I get worried that sometimes my communication struggles anyway, and will I be able to actually communicate well with somebody that's a second language person?
And Ray, I'll give the division officer a heads up that we may need to pull the other corpsman.
Good. I think we're good. Any other special circumstances today that we need to worry about? Okay, let's check out committed actions. What are you going to do today that on your schedule that you're saying, these are my priority 2 or 3 things? Who'd like to start?
Sure, I'll go ahead and start. I know one of the things that this is our kind of flu push, and we're all really focused on ensuring that we get the word out. So that's one of my committed actions. I'm going to continue to chat about it with the team in our department, other departments, and also to the patients. And I'm out.
Nice. Thank you. Anyone else?
Yeah, Ray, go ahead.
For me, I'm going to continue to make sure that we have the equipment lined up for the patients that we're seeing today. I'm going to get with Joe so I have an understanding of what I need to take over for him this afternoon, and I'm out.
That'll be great. Terry, anything else?
Yes, sir. I'm going to check with facilities on the sync and get an estimated time when that may get fixed, so at least we have a target date. I'm going to talk to the other Divo, give that person a heads up that we may need the Spanish-speaking corpsman to come over at sometime this afternoon. And then at the end of the day, I'll get an update on where we stand on our metric on our flu shot campaign. And I will check with the immunizations to make sure that we have ample supply of our vaccine throughout the day.
Those are great. Thank you. And we'll listen to you in the afternoon huddle. Ambitious effort. I hope you can get them all done, but at least we'll know where you stand this afternoon. Thank you. Joe, committed actions for you.
I'll be on the lookout for vaccines and for maintenance, and I'm out of here at noon.
Excellent. Thank you for that. Julie, anything for you?
Yes, I am going to put the contact information not only for the floor, but the cell phone of the corpsman who is Spanish speaking, so that if for some reason I'm not here or unavailable, everyone can see that and have that information to contact them. And I'm also going to continue to play around with my patients in the fact of asking them different questions to see which is most effective when talking about fall risks. Maybe one of the questions I'm thinking about right now is, after looking at the safety pamphlet, what would you say is your safety identification? Or, where do you fall? Are you low, moderate, or high for a safety risk? And just sort of getting them to answer that, just to make sure that they have the information rather than me just telling them and them not really comprehending that information. And I'm out.
I love it. Love it. That's so great. Thank you so much for that. Last piece. Are there any heads up, any things we've missed this morning that you think we need to know about? Anyone? Thank you for a great huddle. Remember, the way we function around here, our primary job, number one job, is help this team win. Help one another win. Whatever we're trying to accomplish, that's what we're doing here, and patient safety is our total focus. Thank you all very much for participating in this morning huddle. See you this afternoon. So ladies and gentlemen that are watching, that probably went slightly longer than 5 minutes, but not too much. And I wanted you to just notice that we were the not ready for primetime players. We were playing roles. I hope that you found this informative and useful. Huddle content, schedule conflicts, patient needs, necessary equipment, and special circumstances. Make sure that's in there so that anytime you have to find out whether someone needs something and it may not be there, we'll know that ahead of time and take care of it. This is really, the huddle content is incredibly important. And ladies and gentlemen, do your best to modify this to your own needs. We made this one up. This was simply a role modeling experience, and I'm positive you can make your huddles way better than the one we just did. Thank you for your time. And I'm going to close out this part out by doing something we do all the time at JLC. Julie, what's your biggest learning from watching this unfold?
The biggest learning is that listening to each person share what their commitment is helps me relax and know that I don't have to do everything by myself.
That's fantastic. And the voices, we got all the voices in the room right away. And that simple provocation I did about what did you learn last week that we're going to continue to do this week or work on this week. Not hard and really fun. Joe, what's your biggest learning?
Again, the lesson that it's important to stay coordinated, and it's important to talk about the problems that come up every day that have to be dealt with in order for you to be effective in getting your job done.
Yeah, that's beautiful. That's all about HRO. Stay focused on those problems that seem to keep coming up, and we keep putting the fires out. Let's find the system solution to those. It's beautiful. Thank you. Terry, biggest learning for you?
I think the biggest learning is the nice recap at the end of what the committed actions are of the members of the team, right? It's nothing to pass. Everybody has an action throughout the day, and now they're aware of what the other actions are. So they could even help each other out. And that communication really helps the team be the best that they can be.
That's beautiful. And win as a team. Help us win as a team. It's really critical. Nicole.
I really appreciate the context this kind of meeting provides. I can have an understanding of what's happening in my sphere and how I contribute to that. Even though my role might be finding the equipment, it still plays a really important role for everyone here to get their jobs done. So I really enjoyed that context piece.
That's beautiful. I think you're 100% correct. And you can almost feel the team leaning into this conversation together. Colleen, how about you?
Yeah, I think for me, it's just a great way to demonstrate how an everyday conversation can help me think not only just of what my day-to-day activities and what I need to execute on, but I have an understanding of everyone else in my team. So I can then help support everyone in ensuring that the team wins. So just a great quick example of how we can ensure we're focused on our execution and supporting the team effectively.
That's great. This was an everyday conversation about how to huddle effectively. And I think it was a very good huddle, and I thank you all for your participation. Those of you that are listening, I invite you strongly to take a few minutes and journal. What were your big takeaways and your big learnings from watching us do this huddle, and a little bit about watching us check out about our own learnings, what really kind of resonated most with us. Thank you for being part of the JLC in Learning series in the JLC chat room. Everyday conversations about huddling effectively. Thank you.
The Jorgensen Learning Center provides leaders with a practical framework to use conversation as a discipline to create a high-performance environment where people are energized to share, contribute, and succeed together. To learn more, visit gojlc.com.